Welcome to week 9 of our PCW online curriculum. I'm Becky, and I am here to talk to you about putting it all together when we're talking about exercise. And when we're putting it all together, I want you to think of FIT, F-I-T. When we're talking about the F, that is the frequency, or how often are we going to work out in any given week. When we talk about the I, that is the intensity. And the intensity is, of course, how hard are we going to work out. And then the T is the time. How much time are we going to put into each exercise session? So according to the American College of Sports Medicine, there are 4 different areas that we are going to look at in our exercise groups. So I'm going to start with the first one, which a lot of people think is the most important, is the cardiovascular exercise, aerobic exercise. So for the FIT of cardio exercise, the F is the frequency. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends 3 to 5 times per week. Now I will say that the Surgeon General recommends 5 to 7 times per week. So, you want to find what works best for you. The intensity, this is something that's very, very important. And there are 2 ways you can measure your intensity. One is a target heart rate range, and one is what we call the rate of perceived exertion. So let me explain both. The max heart rate for you is going to be 220 minus your age. That's just a consistent. 220 minus your age is your estimated max heart rate. If you take 60% of your max heart rate and 85% of your max heart rate, that gives you what we call your target heart rate range. That is what you want your heart rate to be when you are working out and working on your cardio. The other way that you can measure your intensity is called the rate of perceived exertion, or your RPE scale, and it's a scale of 1 to 10. Of course, 1, 2, and 3 would be very, very easy in your mind as you perceive how hard are you working out. 9 and 10 being very challenging to the point where you need to quit. This is you being honest with yourself. How hard are you working out? You usually want to be between a 6 to an 8. The RPE method is best for people that are on some blood pressure medications, because some medications will not allow your heart rate to get up into that range, and so you have to find a different way to measure your intensity. And then the T, the time, you would want to start off, if it's brand new, 10 minutes. A 10-minute exercise session would be great. And over the course of a few days or a few weeks, your 10 minutes could become either 2 10-minute sessions or 1 20-minute session a day. And you continue this climbing of your intensity and duration until you're able to work out for 30 to 60 minutes per day. A couple things that you also want to keep in mind is if you have any medical restrictions, you want to clear any cardiovascular exercise you do with your primary care physician. All right, group 2 is flexibility. And again, according to the American College of Sports Medicine, they are going to recommend your frequency be 2 to 3 times per week. I personally feel like you should work on your flexibility every single day. It doesn't take that long, and it's really important as we age that we work on keeping ourselves limber. The intensity, you want to make sure that you are doing 3 to 4 repetitions of all of your major muscle groups in a slow, controlled, gentle fashion. The time, with each stretch you do, you should hold each stretch for about 15 to 20 seconds. A couple tips: you don't want to bounce with your stretching. You want to get to the point where you're comfortably stretching your muscles. Hold it there, continue to breathe, count to 15 to 20, and then release that stretch. Never stretch to your pain threshold to where it's uncomfortable for you, because then you risk developing an injury. So you don't want that to happen. Our third group of exercise we're going to talk about is strength training, and this is something that's often overlooked, and it's something that's very, very important. So for the frequency, 2 to 3 days per week is optimal. For your intensity, you want to pick a weight that you can comfortably lift for 15 repetitions. As you get stronger, you can increase your weight so that you are still able to stay at the 15 reps. The last few reps that you do in any set should be a little more challenging than your first few reps, but never should any of your repetitions cause you to use improper form. You always want to use good form. And then your time, target the major muscle groups again, chest, back, shoulders, arms, and legs. You want to work up to 2 to 4 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions for each major muscle group. A couple tips here: only pick a weight that you can use good form for every repetition. So another tip is never allow the weight that you're doing when you do a repetition, say it's a bicep curl, to let that weight drop. You should control it up and you should control it down. If you have any kind of injury or aches or pains, talk to your doctor, to a physical therapist, to a personal trainer about what you should and shouldn't do, because you don't want to aggravate an injury that's already festering. And the final group, this is kind of newer, but we do want to, especially as we age, work on adding in some coordination and stability training. So the frequency, 2 to 5 days per week, and you can incorporate this into your cool down. Your intensity, after you are comfortable standing on one leg, then you want to repeat that standing on one leg with your arms crossed. And then that becomes easy, you want to stand on one leg, arms crossed, eyes closed. And you will do that, of course, for each side. Your time, begin by doing 10 seconds on one leg, 10 seconds on the other. Work yourself up in 5-second intervals until you're able to stand for 30 seconds on each side. A couple other ways that you can improve your stability: join a yoga class. Make sure you have a reputable instructor that can help you with your form and correct that if it needs corrected. One of my favorite things you can do is to get an exercise ball. You'll want to make sure you ask someone at a fitness store what size of an exercise ball you need, because it's kind of based on what your height is. But use that exercise ball to sit on at home when you're watching your shows, to sit at your desk at work. You have to engage your core muscles to stay balanced on the exercise ball, and staying balanced on that will improve your coordination and stability. And finally, just keep in mind that some days you're going to be more stable, have better balance than others. So don't let yourself get frustrated or discouraged. Just keep working at it a little bit every week. And over the course of time, you will notice an improvement. And that's just a part of our exercising now that the American College of Sports Medicine feels is important, and we should include that into our exercise sessions. So finally, with this module, you can see at the bottom here that it is giving you a little activity called putting it all together. So on this side, it is giving you a sample workout, a warm up, stretching, cardio, cool down. And so that's a sample. Over here is a space to write in my modifications. So I think what's most important when you do an activity, putting it all together, is that you make your workout your own. You want to make your workout be something so it works for you and it helps you to achieve your goals. So again, if you fill this activity out, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what your modifications are and what works for you, because what works for you is going to help you achieve your goals in the long run. And that's all I have for this week. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.